Well, you're watching the 5 p.m. bulletin here in Republic. I have two of my colleagues, Niranjan and Shravan. Along with them, I am Mayuk from the Kolkata newsroom. It's a Republic mega exclusive coming in from Kolkata. The Parliament attack, the Parliament security breach, the mega security breach, and now the Bengal connection. This Lalit Jha, the mastermind, had a Bengal connection. He used to stay in Bengal. He used to run an NGO, and most importantly, this NGO used to be the shelter ground for the Tukre gang members of Lalit Jha. Nilakshya Aich, one of the members who was actively into ultra-leftist movements. He was actively supporting the left workers here in Bengal, and his connection with Lalit Jha has been established. We have Republic Bangla has exclusive details of the Bengal connection, how this man used to stay in Bengal, this man used to operate with an NGO, and this can clearly be said an NGO runs corruption in Parliament, and this time the NGO here is directly connected with Lalit Jha, the mastermind. Along with that, the Nilakshya Aich, this young boy who has been approached by Republic Bangla. He has been chased by Republic Bangla, and his parents have no clue what this boy and Lalit Jha were up to. We have also gone to Lalit Jha's home in Kolkata and found several indiscriminating evidences that may lead to bigger conspiracy. Right now I have Shravan with me, and Shravan will give more details in this case. Shravan.
Well, in fact, let's begin with the first big breaking news now coming in. Who are the main characters as far as the Parliament security breach is concerned? Starting with the four. Two who were outside. This is the very place where they were present, Neelam as well as Anmol, and the two others who had entered, Manorajan and Sagar Sharma. Manorajan happens to be the key character. Remember, it was he who jumped into the well of the Lok Sabha. And then you certainly have Sagar, who was present at the visitors gallery. Tonight, we're going to get you full details of who these four are and whether they were just puppets in the hand of the mastermind, that's Lalit Jha, who is still absconding. As per our sources, he was last traced to a place closer to the national capital, roughly about a 2-hour drive, that is in Nimrana, where he was located. But it turns out that even before the Delhi Police Special Cells team could actually trace him down, he had left Nimrana. So he's still absconding. As we speak, the accused have already been produced before the court. The hearing should begin in a short while from now. It's the special cell which has now stepped in. Now, let's put this together as to how exactly it all began. Whether this was some sort of an impromptu plan or was this completely pre-planned. The information that has been accessed by Republic TV and Republic Media Network clearly goes on to indicate that there is a larger picture that emerges. The fact of the matter is this, that their planning began roughly about 9 months ago, when the first meeting that took place was in Mysuru along with Manorajan. In fact, my colleague Niranjan is going to bring out more details about who exactly is Manorajan, how exactly did Manorajan and his family members secure that pass from BJP parliamentarian Pratap Simha, and more importantly, how did they actually befriend the parliamentarians' staff members who are also now under the scanner of the Delhi police. All this and much more. Let's first begin with the two who were nabbed here outside. They too were carrying the smoke canisters. This is the very place, as you see, this area has been completely barricaded. This is the place where they were present. Simultaneously, the act that took place inside the parliament, where you had Manorajan and Sagar crossing from this very area that you see right now behind me. This is the very place where they got the visitor pass, got themselves checked. Remember, this is where the first security breach actually took place, because this is the very place that they managed to skip any sort of detection. And then once they entered, there was another level of security check, but there too, remember, they did give a miss. Herein comes the question, whether at all there was any insider role, or was it simply a case of a breach which wasn't being detected by the multi-layer security that has been put into place. But all four have something in common, and that happens to be their association and their activities. The fact of the matter is that Neelam, who was nabbed from outside the parliament, was very active in several anti-government protests, starting from the fact that she was present in the farmers' protest, she was present in the wrestlers' protest. Manorajan, remember, has also been very active in terms of activism that was being carried out in the state of Karnataka. They all come together on a social platform which goes by the name of Bhagat Singh fan page. That's where they connected, and thereafter physical meetings took place. On the 10th of December is when they landed up here in the national capital, all of them coming in from their respective states. In fact, the question that is also being asked is whether at all there was some sort of an additional funding that was being given. Now comes the role of what my colleague Mayuk was pointing out. Who exactly is Lalit Jha? Is he the mastermind? Is he the man who had provided the money, the funding? Because let's not forget the tickets that were actually given to them, starting from Manorajan to Anmol, who came in from Maharashtra. All of them were basically given the flight tickets. Now, where did the money really come in from? It now appears that there was a fifth character, that is Lalit Jha, who was actually present here. From where I am broadcasting right now, this is the very place that Lalit Jha was present. In fact, from this very place, he had first filmed what was happening outside the parliament. Because remember, this was also part of their planning, because they wanted a live streaming of what was going to happen inside the parliament. And as far as the act outside the parliament is concerned, that was being filmed by the man who goes by the name of Lalit Jha. It is he who had taken all the mobile phones of the four accused, two who had gone inside and two who were outside. And the moment there was a ruckus here, because remember, this is the media area where most of the media channels would have been reporting, because the parliament session has been underway. The moment this news actually broke, you did have Lalit Jha getting in touch with the person that Mayuk was pointing out, the person who runs this NGO network out of West Bengal. Here comes the West Bengal link. Now, to break this down further, let me also bring in my colleague Niranjan, who's joining us from the Kannada newsroom, details of which has been brought in by a number of reporters, part of the Kannada channel, getting us minute by minute update of this Karnataka link that has emerged. In fact, the Delhi police as well as the central intelligence agencies have actually got in touch with Karnataka police for further information. I'm given to understand that a Delhi police special cell team would be leaving for Karnataka very soon, and to carry on the investigation, because they believe that this is just a smoke screen. The fact of the matter is that the intention is yet to be revealed. Niranjan, if I can just bring you in with regards to the role of Manorajan and the link that has basically emerged.
Shravan, I can tell you one thing, that as far as this character Manorajan is concerned, now Manorajan is a resident of Mysuru, he's a student of engineering. So even the principal of that particular college where he passed out, where he graduated from engineering, spoke out. And when you ask about him to people who knew him, who are his neighbors, they have very little idea about this character called Manorajan. Now let me also tell you, Shravan, since the attack took place, it's a terror plot. And since this terror plot unfolded in the parliament yesterday, last afternoon, a little after 1 p.m., we heard that within 2 to 3 hours, the intelligence agency teams have been camping in Mysuru. They went to Mysuru, where Manorajan hails from, and they have begun the investigation. And what is very, very strange is that some of what Manoranjan's father said is not really adding up. Now let me tell you, before that you asked me a question on what is the role he played and how did he manage to get that pass. I can confirm to you, this is a first-hand account. I spoke to a few people. Manorajan, along with his father, lobbied or kept persistently following up for a pass to the visitors gallery in Parliament. And we are told that he even conducted a recce in March. So he's been wanting to get a pass for the last few months. He's been following up with Pratap Simha, the parliamentarian's office, and persistently. And what I was told initially is that he wanted a pass on Monday, did not happen, and then he wanted a pass. Eventually now, and he's got that pass, and when he reached there, he said, I have another friend with me, which happened to be Sagar Sharma, and that was a last-minute request that he had, asking for a pass for Sagar Sharma. Now, these are some of the details. I have some more details of the breaking news updates of the investigation, Chavan. I'll come back to you for that. I think you have some more updates. I'm handing it back to you for now. We'll keep taking it part by part, Chavan.
Let me also quickly bring in my colleague Mayuk, who's joining us from the Republic Bangla newsroom. Mayuk, in fact, Nilakshay Aicha's father has spoken. He says there is no connection of any NGO. There appears to be a clear contradiction because earlier in the day, my colleague Akhil actually spoke to Nilakshay, and he essentially spilled out the beans. He says that Lalit Jha introduced himself as someone who is based out of Kolkata, so it becomes abundantly clear that while he had a base here in Gurugram, he also had another base in Kolkata. He did not provide any further details about his business dealings. He also does not make a mention of the fact that he has been participating in several other protests. So there is an element of suspicion here. There is an element of mystery, I would say, given the fact that he does not talk about any of his credentials. He does not provide any details in terms of his identity card. In fact, this is a question that was asked whether he was aware of the fact that he originally comes from Gurgaon. Thereafter, the fact that he also has a base in Bihar, all these information was not provided to Nilakshay. So does it really appear that there is something that they are trying to perhaps brush it under the carpet at this point in time?
Well, yes, Shravan, Republic Bangla has accessed. I will also show it full frame, but right now I have in my mobile this NOC letter, that the prayer for NOC for a rally letter, permission letter that has been accessed by Republic Bangla. This was written by Lalit Jha, and Lalit Jha's signature is also there in the letter. The letter was written to the Joint Commissioner of Police, Kolkata Police Headquarter Division, and here clearly this letter was written in a letterhead of Shammobadi Subhash Sabha, that is the Socialist Subhash Sabha, the name of the NGO or the organization. The address of the organization is Hali Sahar in North 24 Parganas. The name of the people who own this NGO is Lalit Jha, whose residence address here is 218 Rabindra Sarani, Kolkata 7, where Republic Bangla, the reporters went and they doorstepped, and clearly the doors are locked, and neighbors said that yes, that's the residence of Lalit Jha. He used to stay here, but right now they have no idea where he is. And on the other hand, another partner in this entire thing is Nil Aich, that is Nilakshan Ait, Nilakko Aich in Bengali, and his address is Niloy Hardware, Nanna Hospital Road, Halishahar, West Bengal 743135. So this is the residence. Actually, our reporters went there and found that this is the residence of Niloy Aich, his father, and most importantly, his father clearly denied that this man or Lalit Jha had any NGO. However, Republic Network had confronted Nilakshi Aich, and there he said that yes, he was in touch with Lalit Jha. So clearly, this NGO angle that is coming in, the NGO run disruption that is emerging, it's basically the epicenter of this entire the Lalit and Nilaksha Aich angle is centered around Kolkata. And most importantly, this man used to collect money from several other people, many prominent people. A prominent the Netaji historian has confessed in front of camera, in front of Republic Bangla's camera, that yes, this Lalit Jha and Nil Aich used to crowdfund. They used to arrange crowdfunds in the name of Netaji, and most importantly, they used to conduct several programs saying that there will be a seminar on freedom fighters, there will be a seminar on the revolutionaries. So basically they used to collect money, but where those monies used to go, none of them had any idea. We also approached Neil's friends in Vidhannagar College, that's the Salt Lake College, Salt Lake area, and there also they have said that yes, he was in touch with Lalit Jha. This Lalit Jha was a dubious man. No one has seen this Lalit Jha roaming around, but everywhere there, his instructions were there, WhatsApp communications with Neil or his friends were there, and he was into something which is very dubious and very suspicious. Shravan. And he was into something.
Well, thank you very much, Mayuk, for getting us the latest details. We'll try and see if we can also go across to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, is joining us from the national capital in the studios. Abhishek, you've also been tracking this investigation very closely. We've been able to piece together the planning, the execution. Part which still remains a bigger mystery is whether at all there is someone who is behind it, because let's not forget that this could not have been possible without adequate funding. And let's also not forget the fact that perhaps there could be an insider role too, given the fact that multiple layers of security have actually been breached. Is it actually possible that without some sort of help, or for that matter, the kind of recce that was done? I was given to understand, Abhishek, this morning that the recce that actually happened during the budget session, and there were also another attempt that was being made by Sagar was in the month of July. So there are two attempts that have been made for recce that was done, and that is when they realized that the shoes were not being checked, and that is the reason why the plastic canisters actually entered through. What more can you help us understand in terms of the execution part? Actually entered through. What more can you help us understand in terms of the execution part?
Very important that you asked this, Shravan, because remember, this cannot happen unless there is a core coordinating between these this ragtag bunch of otherwise misguided youth. But it seems it's dangerous because, Shravan, you know, an e-rickshaw driver in Lucknow, an activist in Jind, an engineer in Mysuru, and a jobless individual not having any specific business in Gurugram, and an activist from Karnataka, I beg your pardon, Bengal, and someone who has who's not even sharing his exact details. So, for example, remember what Nilako Ait said, that they did not give an ID card to Lalit Jha because he couldn't furnish proper details about where he stays, whether he has an Aadhaar card or a PAN card, and so they did not give him an ID card. So there is a lot of dark area which the investigation agencies are trying to unravel, and I have myself spoken to top sources. And remember, Shravan, you know better, the agencies work assuming the worst. Now there are hand grenades available which come with material that can, you know, that can hoodwink the metal detectors. For example, hand grenades made of carbon composites, for example. So the agencies are working, believing that this could have been bad, this could have been worse, and that is the reason why there is intense backward integration happening in terms of how these people went about this and where were the loopholes, and their phone calls, their call data records, etc. Everything is being investigated. In fact, there are already some leads, Shravan. It's just that at this stage they are not to be shared because those backward linkages of these individuals need to be fixed, pinned, and all those people who were perhaps behind them coordinating, if there were handlers, they need to be, brought into the investigation. That's the reason. And remember, do not forget that Gurupatwant Singh Pannu, the designated terrorist insofar as India is concerned, had been talking about something big happening in Parliament on 13th of December for at least a month before this episode has happened. So agencies are not leaving anything to chance. They have everything under their purview. A lot of leads have already come in, as I mentioned. We are not mentioning exactly which direction they are going. There is a component of urban Naxals, and all that is going to be there, about which we are going to hear as the investigation unravels and the interrogation leads them more idea to the agencies about what exactly brought these people from seemingly unconnected backgrounds together.
Well, Abhishek, Just since you were essentially talking about what could have actually happened, because this morning when I spoke to someone who served in the SPG, and several of them who actually come during the parliament session, because remember there are certain restrictions also for our viewers to understand. Even if you have Z-level security for some of the politicians, remember they are all outside. So our parliamentarians who are actually inside, they are part of what they call the ward and watch. So it's largely, a group which is responsible for the security inside. Now, even the SPG officer that I spoke to, he says that, this comes across as a huge surprise, because even when they have to enter, or, some of the top level officials who actually have to enter, even from the security agencies, there is already a pass that is actually prepared for them earlier on. And even they have to go through a proper physical frisking. The fact of the matter is that the physical frisking perhaps may not have been done in the manner it should have been, but the metal detectors right now also seem to be a little outdated, given the fact that there are several items that a metal detector cannot perhaps detect, because is one of the reasons why, if you realize that in most cases abroad too, in terms of technology, you do have to take out your shoes, even if there is a small strip of metal that is then after put through a scanner, and that's how the scanning is actually done. Now that kind of a facility is actually not provided here. In fact, there has been a large, a bigger debate that actually took place in terms of who exactly should be responsible for the security of the parliament. A parliament security PSG, which was largely debated soon after the attack that took place back in 2001. That was actually in the limbo. In terms of the paramilitary, remember the Delhi police is basically only responsible for the outer cordon. It is not actually for inside, and for those who are inside, who are part of the ward and watch, they are also handpicked, but largely those who have been they've had a long service, but may have not been agile enough to respond to new methods. Now that is exactly what is being debated. Now, perhaps Abhishek, you can help me understand. I did actually manage to speak to some of them, and this is what I'm just sharing with our viewers right now. After speaking to some of those who have gone inside, especially those who have been part of the agencies and who've had regular meetings inside the parliament, especially during the session when they are actually called in by the respective departments. Now, as far as the security of the parliament is concerned, remember it comes under the joint secretary. They are responsible for the security of it. So if heads have to roll, remember this is going to be for someone from within, from inside the parliament too, if I'm not wrong, Abhishek.
Well, Shravan, just because you mentioned Joint Secretary Security, that one post is actually lying vacant for the last month and a half, because the incumbent was repatriated to his parent cadre, the UP Uttar Pradesh Police, and since then it is essentially being taken care of by a director level officer. But that does not really take away from the protocols and the drill is set, and everyone follows the protocols and the instructions that are in place. But this is more like a tech issue, because remember the kind of metal detectors that are in place in the new parliament building, like in the old parliament building, they are not capable of detecting this kind of a plastic smoke canister that was carried under the shoes. That can only happen with a full body scanner. But unfortunate part is that at the design stage itself, at the planning stage itself, the lapse has happened. This is the design fault, remember, because the security, when the security of the new building was being designed, this aspect should have been taken care of. So I think we have seen, when covering Parliament, all these 5 layers of security before which you reach the viewers gallery. There is a hazmat unit which stands. Hazmat is the hazardous materials detection unit, CBRN unit as it is called, which stands outside the Parliament gate in case of there is CBRN is chemical, biological, reactive and nuclear material unit, which stands outside the Parliament. The provisions are there, but then in this case this is a design fault specific to metal detectors. I think there was perhaps some lack of oversight because of which this has happened. It would be plugged obviously, but then this episode really brings under focus what all should have been done was not there and would be done at the soonest. But of course, the investigation as of now on unraveling the conspiracy aspect about which I was mentioning, Shravan, that there is a clear possibility that some anti-national forces outside collaborated with the urban Naxal element inside and then executed this. All right, let's go to Mayuk, I am told. Shravan, just hold on to a bit because Mayuk has more information. We'll go to the next part of the investigation to Mayuk. Mayuk, over to you.
Well, yes, Abhishek, we are going to reveal the other parts of this investigation, the 11-part investigation done by Republic Network, the detailed investigation and the Republic mega exclusive visuals and details. We'll be coming back. We'll be giving more details shortly. Just a quick break and we are coming back.